Trolland, also called Trolls, was released in 2016. It's directed by Ron Thornton and it's written by Glenn Campbell, Tammy Klein and Aaron Witlin. And we have a cast and voice cast, including Jerry O'Connell, Dick Van Dyke, Debi Derryberry. Yeah, it's because of Dick Van Dyke that I wanted to watch this. And while I love... Sorry, I'm just reading on IMDb at the cast list, and we have the main cast, and then a whole bunch of people just listed as additional voiceover talent. And then at the very, very end, it says Elon Musk, background troll. That tickled me quite a lot. I quite enjoyed that. Unfortunately, the film itself, I didn't particularly enjoy, and there's one main reason for that, and it's ugly. It is an exceptionally ugly film. The animation is disgusting. The colour palette is so dull. The movements of the characters are not that great. The mouth movements are not good. Visually, it is just a really horrible experience. And I did sit through it because I was going to review it, so I might as well finish it, but also Dick Van Dyke. And I do love Dick Van Dyke, but that's not enough to save the film, unfortunately. So I don't really have a lot to say. The narrative is about these trolls who constantly pull pranks, but not all of the trolls enjoy pulling pranks, and we have some interaction with some human characters, and I don't want to say too much more than that, largely because I don't see the point, because I don't recommend it. It is a really hideous experience. It has 1.2 out of 10 on IMDb across 581 reviews and ratings. So not the largest pool of opinions, but certainly enough to suggest that not many people have enjoyed this. I'm trying to think of the positives. The voice cast, the voice acting, very good. I guess the narrative works well enough if you can suffer through the animation. The narrative is okay. It's not horrendous. It's not great. And it's certainly not enough to save the film. Unfortunately, it does not work. And it's an asylum film. I don't think I mentioned that. I do have a bit of a soft spot for the asylum films. Yes, they're often rough around the edges, not very high quality, but usually it's in a very kind of cheap and corny way that can be enjoyable. But I really struggled to find anything enjoyable about this. It was not a good experience. I did not enjoy it. I never want to see it again. And unless you're in the mood for a film that's so horrendous it's laughable, even then there are better options than this one. But unless you want to watch a terrible film, which can sometimes be a fun experience, perhaps if you're watching with friends, when you're sitting just watching it on your own, it's not a particularly thrilling experience. But unless you're in the mood for that kind of film, I can't recommend it. Obviously, if, like me, you love Dick Van Dyke and you want to see everything Dick Van Dyke has ever done, good luck. It's not a good experience. I can't really praise a lot of it. The animation is horrendous. The narrative is okay. The voice acting is good. But none of that is enough to save the film. Trolland is not an enjoyable experience. And unless there's a very, very specific reason why you want to check this out, I really cannot recommend it.